Breaking news, terror in London. Police open fire after a man stabs 5 people near London Bridge. Investigators say he was wearing a vest made to look like a bomb. Tonight, the everyday heroes who stepped in to stop him and the investigation into his motive. Also tonight, wild weather. Snow keeps piling up across the west as a powerful new storm takes a swipe at the rest of the country. Why the ride home this holiday weekend could be miserable for millions. We'll have the forecast. Ready, set, shop. America spends big in stores this Black Friday and breaks a record online. And today's doorbuster deals keep the economy humming. Flames from twin explosions at a Texas chemical plant are finally contained. But as 50,000 people return home, some are asking, is the air really safe? Plus, oh babies. A Missouri hospital is now caring for a record number of newborn twins, 12 sets of them. And Steve Hartman on the road introduces us to a little boy stuck at home. Then, his whole world changed.
This is the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.
Good evening to our viewers in the West. Nora is off tonight. I'm John Dickerson. Police in London are searching tonight for a motive into a new terror attack in the British capital. It happened today when a man wielding a knife went on a stabbing spree, killing 2 people and seriously wounding 3 others. Witnesses say he was wearing a suicide vest, but the vest turned out to be fake. Police shot and killed the attacker, but not before people tried to stop him. It happened on the busy London Bridge. Tonight, London's mayor is praising the bravery of those who rushed to help while investigators search for the attacker's motive. Imtiaz Tayyab is in London.
Chaotic scenes following a mass stabbing in London. Here, the attacker is pinned to the ground by the public, despite being armed with a knife. In another clip, a bystander runs from the scene with a large blade in hand, apparently taken from the perpetrator. Then the police take no chances, firing 2 shots and killing the man. It's not until later that images surface showing him wearing what police are calling a hoax suicide vest, as heavily armed officers move in and later carry away a body on a stretcher.
Police started screaming that we need to just get out of the market straight away.
It was like scary because, everybody was kind of running past and we actually didn't know what was happening.
Appreciate your cooperation, we can do it quickly.
Ladies and gents, keep the road clear.
This latest act of violence in London has caused concern across the world, including with the New York Police Department, who issued a statement saying they were keeping a close eye on the situation, a situation Londoners have become all too familiar with.
Tomorrow will be a normal day in London. The NATO summit is coming up next week, so leaders of many nation states from NATO will be here. The posture of policing will probably be raised slightly, but I wouldn't foresee any dramatic changes, and people will go about their normal business the way they did today.
London Bridge remains closed tonight, but CBS News has just learned that the attacker was recently released from prison and had a previous conviction for what's being described as an Islamist terrorist offense. John.
Imtiaz Tayyab in London for us. A powerful new storm is about to take a swipe at a big part of the country. It's already piling up snow in the west. As it moves east, millions of others could experience blizzard-like conditions. In Southern California, intense rain and flooding has caused mudslides. Jonathan Bigliotti is in Los Angeles, and he has the latest.
The volatile mix of unusual Thanksgiving weather that pummeled the nation from California to the East Coast is brewing up again. Flagstaff, Arizona is being buried under fresh snow. In Albuquerque, a 60-year Thanksgiving Day snow record was shattered. Elsewhere in the West, many are still cleaning up after being hit not once, but twice this week. The interstate connecting Mexico to Canada is back open in California after hundreds of drivers were stranded in the snow for 17 hours. Near the California-Oregon border, people are picking up the pieces after a rapidly forming bomb cyclone. In Utah, a break in the storm helped thaw out icy roads, blamed for close calls like this one, captured by a dash cam during a traffic stop. This weekend's cross-country repeat will make its way east, dumping more rain in places like Topeka, Kansas, where Black Friday shoppers battled the cold temps for big deals. Record snow levels were also set from Denver to New Mexico.
And even normally bone-dry Death Valley couldn't escape the fierce weather. In one day, the desert got 3 months worth of rain. John?
Jonathan Vigliotti in Los Angeles. Joining me now, meteorologist Jeff Berardelli. Jeff, storms made the trip out to Thanksgiving pretty bad. What about the trip home?
I think it's going to probably be worse. And that's because this is literally going to go from coast to coast. It's already been a historic storm, and that is going to continue. Take a look at all the alerts that we have covering literally 70 million people across the United States right now. Starting out with a blizzard tomorrow morning in the upper Midwest. Places like Rapid City could get 1.5 feet of snow. At the same time, this storm has everything. Severe weather, the possibility of isolated tornadoes in the deep south. The storm will spread towards the east. While it's snowing in Minneapolis, there'll be an ice storm building across the Northeast, which will transition into a nor'easter and probably dump a lot of heavy snow across especially interior portions of the Northeast. But even New York City and Boston could get accumulating snow on Monday and Tuesday. Look at how much snow is going to fall. Where you see the purple, that's at least 1 foot of snow. Where you see the white, that's as much as 1.5 to 2 feet of snow, especially across inland portions of the Northeast. Looks like a rough several days. Sean?
Thank you, Jeff. Rough days, and hope everybody travels safe. Tough weather or not, millions of Americans bundled up and marched out searching for Black Friday bargains. What they found were long lines and crowded aisles. Nikki Batiste is with some of those shoppers.
It was a hunt for holiday discounts as Black Friday shoppers hit the stores. Major retailers like Bloomingdale's and Macy's were decked out in their holiday best. This year, consumers are expected to dip a little more deeply into their wallets, spending an average of $1,050. That's about $41 more than last year. Sarah Wilson is one of those who is ready to drop some cash, that is. As a seasoned Black Friday bargain hunter, she hit the stores today as part of a strategic plan.
You can go and get all of your holiday shopping and some household and personal shopping done in one go and be sure that you're getting some of the best prices available.
Holiday spending totals are expected to hit a record $715 billion, a robust 5.2% increase, according to Customer Growth Partners, the strongest growth in 5 years.
The households are basically much more financially healthy.
Craig Johnson says wage growth and low unemployment have put more cash in shoppers' pockets.
People have the ability to spend, but they're spending out of household cash flow, which is a much healthier way of spending than tapping the home equity or tapping the credit cards.
This Best Buy says it sold out of all the TVs and computers featured on the front page of its Doorbusters ad in just 2 hours today. And even though the shoppers braved the crowds to be here, retail analysts predict the total online shopping between Black Friday and Cyber Monday will hit $20 billion this year. John?
Nikki Batiste in the thick of it for us. Thanks, Nikki. Jill Schlesinger is here to take a look at the business of Black Friday. So, Jill, we just saw all of the people out braving the cold and fighting over whatever their consumer products. What about online shopping, though?
Well, amazing, actually. Thanksgiving Day, we broke through $4 billion in sales, first time ever. And this Black Friday is on track to see a $7.5 billion sales line. That's amazing, right? And what's interesting about it is we will see online sales grow at double-digit paces again. I think what's another interesting trend, though, is we are seeing this new thing, which is basically, you ready for it? I'm going to say it. BOPIS. Buy online, pick up in store. A 40% increase from a year ago.
Rolls right off the tongue. Tell me what you think, Jill, though, this means for the larger, broader economy.
You know, consumers have been driving this economy all year long, much more so than businesses and government. And I think if consumers continue to spend this holiday season, it could really portend a good first quarter. So we'll have to watch it. Again, hopefully not on credit, but we'll see.
All right. Thanks so much, Jill. President Trump is back at Mar-a-Lago tonight after slipping away for an unannounced trip to greet U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Mr. Trump's Thanksgiving Day visit caught many off guard, as did his comments about new peace talks with the Taliban. Weijia Zhang is with the president in Florida.
President Trump returned to Florida this morning without an apparent plan for peace in Afghanistan or a desire to talk about it. On Thursday, Mr. Trump told reporters who came with him on a secret trip to greet troops in Afghanistan that the U.S. was talking to the Taliban.
The Taliban wants to make a deal, and we're meeting with them, and we're saying it has to be a ceasefire. They didn't want to do a ceasefire, but now they do want to do a ceasefire, I believe.
Today, the White House didn't offer details of what, if any, conversations have taken place. A Taliban spokesman was less definitive, telling CBS News the group is open to restart talks with the Americans at any time where they were stopped.
They're dead.
In September, the president declared the talks were, quote, dead, after he was criticized for offering to host the Taliban at Camp David. Sources say the president wants to reach a deal prior to next year's election, after promising to cut the number of U.S. troops in Afghanistan from 12,000 to 8,600. President Trump will be back on Air Force One next week, heading to the NATO summit. While he's there, the House Judiciary Committee will hold its first impeachment hearing. John, today, Chairman Jerry Nadler told President Trump he has 1 week to decide if his legal team will take part in the proceedings.
Weijia Zhang with the president. The Thanksgiving holiday turned deadly for a family from the Houston area when their small plane crashed in Canada. It happened in a heavily wooded area near Kingston, Ontario. As Chris Van Cleve reports, investigators don't know why it went down.
Canadian investigators are working to identify the 7 people on board the 6-seat Piper Cherokee that crashed Wednesday and piece together why the 54-year-old single-engine plane went down.
It was a very steep impact, so significantly steep, and the aircraft was destroyed.
My name is Otabek Oblokulov, and this is my 1965 Piper Cherokee.
The plane's owner, Otabek Oblokulov, was believed to be flying along with his wife, 3 children ages 3 to 15, and 2 family friends, newlyweds from Toronto. He bought the plane to share his love of flying with his family.
I put my whole family and put my camping gear right here in the nose compartment.
Investigators say they were flying between Toronto and Quebec City when they attempted to land in Kingston, Ontario around 5 p.m. The crash site is in line with the airport's runway. The Oblokulovs' neighbors in Missouri City, Texas, describe the family as friendly.
This is something you never want to hear, especially, a family like this, good family.
Oblokulov earned his pilot's license in 2018 and had only recently bought the plane. Canadian authorities have yet to identify any of the dead. Investigators say the plane was in touch with the Kingston airport before the crash and came down about 3 miles short of the runway. The Canadian equivalent of our NTSB will lead the investigation. John?
Chris Van Cleve for us in Washington. Thanks, Chris. Flames from a series of explosions at a chemical plant in Texas are under control tonight. Fires have been burning there since Wednesday when explosions rocked the facility in Port Neches, about 90 miles from Houston. Mandatory evacuations for 50,000 people were also lifted today. Officials say initial tests show the air is safe. More to come on the CBS Evening News. The baby boom that set a new record for twins at a Missouri hospital. Plus, how an NFL star is stepping up to help children who owe money for lunch. And later, the mighty Quinn, now having fun far beyond his window. A hospital in Kansas City is spending the holiday weekend caring for 12 sets of newborns, 24 babies, twins, all born premature and all doing well. Errol Barnett has more on the nurses doing double duty times 12.
Fraternal twins Callie and Camden Riley are nestled in their mother Whitney's arms.
He's still on oxygen, and they're both on feeding tubes right now.
They are one of 12 sets of twins in the neonatal intensive care unit at St. Luke's in Kansas City, Missouri. The hospital believes it is the most it's ever had. All of them born prematurely, with the youngest babies arriving this week.
It's super stressful having a baby in the NICU.
Photographer Helen Ransom captured the first images of the babies and their parents for free, something she does because she can relate.
I have identical triplet boys myself, and they spent 17, 18, and 20 days in the NICU.
Ransom says the road ahead may be uncertain for the parents, but they should never forget their first time cradling their children.
They don't even look up at me. They are fully in the moment, snuggling those babies.
And how are your triplets doing now?
They're fantastic. It has been the greatest joy to watch them grow and become best friends with each other.
Now, St. Luke's is working to make sure all the twins can be home by their original due dates, which, John, really is the best part of this, because that means some may be able to spend their very first Christmas at home.
They'll never forget it. Thanks, Harold.
You got it.
And when we come back, the surprising new top dog. NFL star Richard Sherman is paying it forward by paying it back. The 49ers cornerback posed with the principal of a middle school in Ventura, California, after quietly writing him a $7,500 check. Sherman said he wanted to pay off the debts owed by students who couldn't afford their school lunch. All of them. 2 weeks ago, Sherman paid $20,000 to pay off lunch debts for public schools in Tacoma, Washington. It's a big victory for bulldog lovers.
And the best in show tonight is the bulldog.
Thor takes the throne. His big win at the National Dog Show in Philadelphia Thursday seemed to catch his handler by surprise. The beefy 2-year-old hammered nearly 2,000 other dogs, making up 194 different breeds, to win over the judges. And we're told he loves a good chin scratch. Who doesn't? Up next, Steve Hartman with the story of a boy who's now having fun outside after being stuck inside for months.
If you can't watch the CBS Evening News, you can listen. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Sponsored by Oral-B.
That's it for the CBS Evening News. For Nora O'Donnell, I'm John Dickerson in New York. Have a great weekend.